Welcome to today's episode of Code Chronicles, where we dive into the often unsung heroes of software development, those who contribute to our beloved code bases. Today, we'll explore a fascinating tool called git-who. Now, if you've ever wondered, who wrote this code, you're not alone. This handy command line tool goes beyond the traditional git blame to answer the bigger question of authorship across entire components or subsystems within a project. So, let's kick things off. Think about this. You've stumbled into a massive code base. You know, the kind where hundreds of contributors might have left their mark. It can feel overwhelming trying to identify who did what. Have you ever found yourself staring blankly at lines of code, wondering who to thank or perhaps blame for that spaghetti mess? Well, git-who is here to save the day. This tool allows us to generate a detailed overview of contributions, tracking the authorship of not just individual files, but entire directories and file trees. Imagine being able to see an annotated view of a project, showing which developers contributed the most to certain parts of the code. It's like getting a backstage pass to the development history. And it's super straightforward to use. For example, you can simply run git-who to pull a table of authorship contributions, listing authors alongside the latest edits they've made and the number of commits each has accrued. That's very handy. But here's a little twist. If you're interested in a specific folder, like tools/, or even a particular version of your code, you can filter the results to see contributions related to that component alone. It's like a custom cheat sheet for code attribution. Now let's talk more about how git-who structures this information. The tool has three main commands: table, tree, and hist. The table command is the simplest, giving you a clear overview based on the contributions from each author. Then there's the tree command, which provides a visual file tree, showing contributions right in the hierarchy of the project. You can see, for example, who contributed most to the Python parser or to any other segment, depth first through the code. Can you picture that? You've found the part of the code you're interested in, and you can instantly see who the primary contributors are. For instance, maybe Guido van Rossum has made the most changes in a specific directory. Pretty insightful stuff. And then we have the hist command, which presents a timeline of commit activity. Imagine a bar chart showing contributions by year. It paints a picture of the evolution of the project over time. This feature is particularly intriguing because it not only gives stats, but also sets the stage for understanding shifts in contribution, such as when one developer's workload increased dramatically, perhaps due to stepping into a new role or project. Speaking of shifts, here's something to consider. Many factors can influence contributions: project deadlines, developer interest, or even changes in leadership. With git-who, you can visually track these shifts. This makes it a valuable tool not just for recognizing contributions, but for understanding the culture around your code base. And if you're concerned about getting accurate stats, the tool even respects Git's built-in mail map feature. So if a contributor has committed under various names or emails, git-who can bundle those contributions together, eliminating confusion. But a key takeaway here is that git-who and git blame serve different purposes. Git blame tells you who made the last change to each line of code, perfect for addressing who last touched this segment. Meanwhile, git-who focuses on contributions over time, answering broader questions such as who's been the driving force behind this directory's development. Both tools have their place in the developer's toolkit. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a curious thought. How